I grew up in the military. My dad was an Air Force pilot. I grew up moving around. So when it came to getting a job, I lacked imagination and went to a recruiter and ended up working as a public affairs officer. And I did a career in the Air Force. I'd say the biggest advantage from being a military brat and a military veteran is having had the opportunity to be in so many different circumstances. I mean, I was in charge of running General Abramson all around the Northeast when Star Wars was an issue back in the 80s. I went to Noriega's, went to Panama during the era when we were kicking Noriega. I went to Pakistan during Charlie Wilson's war era. Basically, we were delivering humanitarian cargo and returning with the Taliban. Well, then it was called the Mujahideen. And the wounded Mujahideen we're bringing to Europe and to the United States for reconstructive surgery, then later became the Mujahideen. I just had the opportunity to do a lot of interesting things. Well, we unveiled the B-2 in California for the Rose Parade. It was pretty cool. We had during the Clinton years, after his Summit of the Americas, we had a big week-long conference in Williamsburg for the Defense Summit of the Americas. All the defense ministers from Canada down to Argentina. So we got to move security concerns forward in the Western Hemisphere, one little bit. And I did a film about humanitarian affairs. And that was that was our Cold War era during the Bush 1 years, trying to promote nation building and peacekeeping missions for the military. Now, those things have changed. People that spend a lot of time in the military, sometimes that transition out of the military can be challenging, especially in these post 9/11 years. I mean, I was in the military from '79 till 2007. So the majority of my military career was during the Cold War, or not during these hot conflicts that have been going on since 9/11 in the 2000s. So my experience is very different than a lot of young people that have been in the military recently. So I was also a reservist. So as a reservist, I had one foot in the military world, which I was very comfortable with, but also was hustling in the civilian world, doing television production and other work, in addition to having my family, of course. As a military brat and as a veteran, I have moved around the country and the world quite a bit, and so I am a Frederictonian by choice. This is a gorgeous part of the world. And the community is, of course, pretty supportive of the military, which is nice. There's Fort Detrick nearby, and DC is full of military types. So it's not as unwelcoming as, like, for example, some places in the Northeast, where I'm from originally. But no, just to recap, being a military brat and a military veteran, I chose Frederick by choice. I am a Frederictonian by choice. It's a gorgeous area, the schools are good around here, the people are welcoming, and it's a great part of the world.